I'm Tia Borden with MiningIR, and joining me is the lovely Andrew Thake, Divisional Director of Resourcing Tomorrow. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you, Andrew. This is one of the best conferences. To me, it's the best conference that
Mhm.
I've been to in this industry, and you've done a wonderful job for the last 20 years. I didn't realize that's how long this conference has been running.
Long time. Delighted to go and have you and the Mining IR team back.
Thank you.
I think it's been another really successful show. Over 2,000 attendees, 175 exhibitors, very strong feedback from the delegates. So we've had a really packed 3 days.
Tell me about the audience that's here this year. Has it been different attendees than previous years?
Um, we've still had the usual mix of investors coming along, but where it's really changed this year is we've made a real effort not just to get in traditional mining resource investors, but also to go and get in OEMs and also, I guess, non-traditional green impact funds. So we had people like Rivian who were speaking on the Monday of the event, the well-known EV car manufacturer. We had people like Eden Asset Management who were speaking today as well as the Investor 2030 initiative. So I think that was really different in terms of the investors. For the miners, a bit of continuing on from last year, we're still getting over 120 juniors attending, but we're getting more and more majors attending. We had keynotes from Rio Tinto, keynotes from Anglo American, keynotes from Vale, Anglo Ashanti, Barrick. We've already had about sort of 20 of the sort of like world's largest 30 mining companies at Resourcing Tomorrow. And I think the other big change we had this year as well, we've always had a strong student program, but we really increased it this year. We had over 150 students here over the course of the 3 days. And the reason why we do that, and we give them free tickets to attend, we want to encourage them a career in mining. So as you're interviewing me now, we've got a Speak Connect session that's taking place upstairs. We've got 20 employers, 60 students crammed into a room, exchanging business cards. And if we go and persuade one person to pursue a career in mining, we feel that we've done our job.
It's interesting that you say that. I posted a couple of interviews over the last few days, and that's exactly what we're talking about, getting more exposure
Mm,
on the industry to youth so that
mm.
they are aware and again, building women in mining
Yeah.
and getting more diverse, I think people in the industry because it's a growing industry. It's
Yeah.
global.
Yeah, we have very strong partnerships with Women in Mining. We were delighted to be partnering with them on Wednesday evening, where we hosted a drinks reception here at the event. We also partner with International Women in Mining. We also partner with young mining professionals. And for us, it's very important to have, greater diversity at the event, whether it's gender, whether it's ethnicity, also having more young people coming into the industry, because otherwise the industry will go and die. We talk about there being a shortage of mining and metals, but there's a shortage of people. So we need more people to come in from other industries, but we also need more young people to come in from universities as well.
And you are expanding this conference specifically. Resourcing Tomorrow is now we did the one in Miami, and
Yeah.
you're branching out to other cities and countries. What's next? What's coming down the pipelines?
Well, we've got a couple of events coming up. In January, we have our Future Minerals Forum in Riyadh that we do in association with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia government. That's a very successful event. Now it's third year. And then you also just mentioned our Miami event as well. You and I were interviewing each other back in February.
Yeah.
We were expecting 60 to 80 juniors. We had 93, and we think we can go and beat that number for next year because the US is a really strong market. I think with the Inflation Reduction Act, one of the highlights of this year's Resourcing Tomorrow, we had Assistant Secretary Anthony Pyatt from the US Department of State for Energy and Natural Resources giving a keynote at the address. But a greater interest in the US to go and invest in natural resources, and that really seeping down through to investors. And I would encourage any junior miner listening to this interview to go and check out our Mines and Money Miami events.
It was a great turnout and a fun, obviously, city to be in.
Yeah,
Now, I want to talk about the name change. We did this, I think it was I
yeah,
asked you a year ago or 2 years ago.
yeah,
How has it affected the conference, if it has at all? And what has
yeah.
the response been to the change?
I think that the name change has worked really well. Um, Especially it's really resonated at the majors, the mid tiers, and the government end of the market. the challenge with the Mines and Money name is it does what it says on the tin. It connects miners with investors. And that's probably great if you're just talking to junior miners and just talking to investors. But because the conference was more becoming not just about that, but also about critical minerals, also about sustainability, also about ESG and the future of mining, Mines and Money didn't really sort of resonate with those sort of themes. So calling it Resourcing Tomorrow has really helped us in the reach to the majors, but also to the governments as well. One highlight I should go and mention was on the 27th of November, one day before this event, we worked in conjunction with the CMA to help put together a government ministerial roundtable that was hosted by the All-Party Parliamentary Group. That was mainly targeted for non-MSP countries, but we had Nigeria there, we had Chad there, had Armenia there, had Kazakhstan there, had South Sudan there, had the Kurds Republic, had the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, hosted by the UK in the APPG. And we want to do more of those because Beacon Events, the owner of Resourcing Tomorrow brand, we can provide a really good independent platform for these government roundtables. And if we get the government engaged in mining, it then just flows down. It's easy to get the industry involved. It's easy to get investors involved, and it's going to be beneficial for everyone involved.
What's your long-term vision for this conference?
We would like to just grow it obviously on sort of like a year by year sort of basis. We want it to become more inclusive. We want to have more young people come along. We want to have more juniors here next year. We also have more majors and mid tiers. But at the end of the day is as long as people are happy, as long as people are feeling they're getting value for money, and as long as people don't mind the cold weather, that's the one thing that I can't go and change. We would welcome them back next year and the year after that.
Well, I think you're accomplishing most of those things. You can't control the weather, but hey, coming from Ontario, it's not that bad. And we're in London, a beautiful city. And again, heading to Miami in February, another wonderful city to be in. Andrew, we have the gala tonight, which I always get excited about. It is so well done. What can we expect this year that maybe wasn't there last year?
So gala dinner would be great fun. Got a good after dinner speaker, a very up and coming British comedian called Alan Cochrane. We've also got a fireside chat between Randy Smallwood of Wheat and Precious Metals and David Tate, CEO of the World Gold Council. That's going to be really, really good, moderated by Alex Gorman of Peel Hunt. 15 awards up for grabs. And I'm one of the few people that actually know the winners, but we've got fantastic shortlists this year, really strong shortlists. And the winners, we've got some really good, worthy winners tonight. I think that everyone's going to be really, really happy with when they find out as to like who's won, have a really kind of great time, great networking event, great way to go and celebrate success.
Always great people, great food, and great wine. I'm not gonna lie, I go for the wine, just joking. But I'm looking forward to spending some more time with you tonight. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to Miami in February.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Andrew.